What's goody to any and everybody who may be listening? We're going to be talking about the trailer park in more detail. Now, this trailer park by the name of Green Spring Valley. This is where I spent about we put out in 1999, well 2000, 2001, maybe 3 years in this neighborhood. This was a trailer park. I gotta tell you, first getting out there at first, I felt like trailer park trash. Well, I didn't really feel like trailer park trash, but I was joking around about that being trailer park trash or whatever. Sharita, you know that unfit mother. She had got in this trailer. Well, she rented this trailer like a triple wide, double wide, a modular home. They called them modular homes. And we were out in. It was technically it was Raleigh, but it was really out past Garner. Really, Garner. I got Garner. Moving from Raleigh to Garner, I gotta tell you, was quite traumatic for me. But there was something about this, as I mentioned before, this etheric cording and the spider web and everything of this nature, which pulled us towards Garner. Um, let's see here. So my grandmother Dorothy had recently passed away, just about maybe a few months ago, and I'm hearing something about the coast was clear. So the coast had been clear for us to move out to Ghana. This was like more isolation. This was isolation. I'm hearing isolation because we were in a somewhat remote location within this trailer park. You couldn't really go nowhere outside of the trailer park. That trailer park was like right, they had a store up there. You could leave out, but it was just grass. Like there was no sidewalk to walk on, So this was a remote location, and again, I'm hearing isolation. This is also when a lot of the spiritual warfare picked up. And this is also where I lost many of my soul fragments. Many of my light sparks left at this time due to the trauma. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. In terms of the abuse from Sharita, okay, her and Dantes, whose nickname is Po Boy. And we gotta get on Po Boy. I gotta make a whole separate video about Po Boy, message about Po Boy, because I forgot to say something. But I'm gonna get on that later, okay? But the abuse. So this individual, Po Boy, was not only abusing really all of us. Danielle and Darrell were also being abused, okay? But see, they were the type they don't face their problems. They just dismiss it. They push it down into their bodies, which is why they were so full of orbs in the first place, pushing all that trauma back down into their bodies and not allowing themselves to see it and feel it. Okay? So he was abusing the children. Not only that, he was abusing her, Sharita. Okay? And again, this was like a massive energy harvest where Sharita and this man argued every single night. Now, it was rare that he hit her, but see, that doesn't matter because I was still dealing with the trauma, the PTSD from Daryl Hatter beating that bitch into a pulp. Okay, so these arguments just made me anxious. Okay. This was also a time where I started to get depressed. Like, I started to experience the symptoms of depression due to all of the abuse. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, some physical abuse as well. Um, and the long forgotten about sexual abuse. Okay, I started to spiral down into a depression at this time. Massive energy harvest again. This is also where I started to do the opioids. This is where I started to take the pills. It's like when I had got that headache and wanted that needed that pill, you should have seen the face of Sharita. Like she was so excited and happy to give me that pill. Which is that this was the pill that would wind me up with that addiction. Now, this opioid addiction was the addiction of all addictions. Okay, I was addicted to cocaine, but that only lasted a year. My drug of choice is marijuana, but I have control over that now. But the opioids was the drug that got me really addicted. And also, I didn't mention this before, but I spoke about the opioids, but I didn't mention how whenever I would try to stop and get off of the opioids, there Sharita would be with some pills, or telling me that she about to go get some pills, or telling me she about to go buy some, or she going to the doctor, or just trying to pull me back down into that spiral when I was trying to stop taking pills. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do this right now. We're going to be doing some declarations. I'm going to have to be decreeing and declaring my light sparks from this time period, where they got lost within this time period, where this feels like one of my favorite neighborhood, but no, it was not. This was a neighborhood that was steeped within drama and trauma. Okay, so this was not my favorite neighborhood to live in. This was just where a lot of my favorite light sparks and soul pieces got lost in the midst of. So let's go ahead and call them back. I decree and declare any and all of my soul fragments and light sparks that got lost within the midst of the neighborhood, Green Spring Valley, are removed, released, freed, and brought on back home to the one and only. You already know. I decree and declare that any of my soul fragments and light sparks that got caught up within any of the people, and I'm going to be naming a lot of these people, like nobody's safe. It ain't what Busta Rhymes say, it ain't safe no more, because I'm finna read some of these individuals into oblivion. Okay? Any of my light sparks caught up within any of them, I really don't have to say that. I decree and declare that I don't have to say their name, and my light sparks are coming anyway, but I'm going to be reading them. And any of those light sparks coming on home to the mother, the father, and the child, because I have missed you so much. Okay, who I'm going to start with? Now, let's start with a girl by the name of Tamika Adams. Now, at some point before I knew who I was, after my shit had been, my brain had been scrambled by those satanic forces and things of this nature, before I knew who I was now, there was a girl named Tamika Adams. Now, we were very close. Like, I was close to the girl. I really did. See, you can't really say love, because I didn't really know what love was at the time, but there was a closeness. And at that time, I thought that I did love the girl. Okay. And I'm starting out with her because there was some sort of crossover. We went to school together prior to the move to Garner. So before we moved to Garner from Raleigh, I was going to a school by the name of Sanderson, and we're going to be getting into those antics next within the next few videos. But I was going to a school by the name of Sanderson High School, and she was going to the same school. She was from the hood, You know what I'm saying? She was from the projects from around that way, a street called Martin Street. And you know, we were close at Sanderson. So it was a surprise for me to see her in this trailer park that day. Her, and she was with a girl by the name of Evilise, this Puerto Rican girl. Okay, now we was all cool. Like we all kikied and cackled in the hallways. And I actually had a little, I can't even lie, I had a little crush on Tamika back when I didn't know who I was. You know, back when I was trying to be something that I wasn't. Okay, there was this little crush. I didn't understand why, because she was not particularly cute, especially back in those in those days, in early in like her teenhood. She was not that cute. I mean, that hair, she was a little bald headed. I can't lie about that. Like, she was a little bald headed. The hair had a hard time growing, but whenever she did get her hair done, she looked cute. And we're gonna talk about Wendy too. But she went to Wendy, the hairdresser. We're gonna talk about Wendy within the next few messages. I'm gonna get them all, trust me. And she would get her hair done in like these waterfalls. That was really the only time that she looked cute. Otherwise, she looked, I ain't gonna say horrid, but I did have a little crush on her. And it was something because she had like a little tomboy in her. That's probably why, because she had a little tomboy. She was a little masculine. She was a little rough around the edge. So I had a little crush on her. Come on. So I did have a crush on her, you know, and she was mean. She used to talk shit, but you know, that was just like flirtation. Anyway, it wasn't flirtation. It was like it was something. It was something. And I'm picking up on energy harvesting as well. Okay. So when she moved to Garner and I seen them out there in that trailer park, I was like, wow. Okay, and immediately I bought them to see Sharita and Danielle. So that's where her and Danielle got close. Her and Danielle got close through me, or not even through me, but it seemingly through me. But these individuals were already in cahoots in some way, shape, form, or fashion, through that spider web, through these networks, through this etheric courting. Okay. Now, I gotta tell you. Now, I don't want to be too mean, but I'm going to be mean. Okay? So you're going to have to prepare yourself for the things that I'm going to say, because I don't give a fuck. I come for cheering and everything, because again, those my cheering anyway. They ain't yours. As a matter of fact, y'all my cheering. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and get on the rest of the clan. Because along with the Doja clan, you had the Adams clan. Gotta talk about it. The fact that their last name was Adams anyway. Okay, that's number one. But number two, I gotta tell you, like, because, and the reason I'm going off right now like this is because I just got this download today. But I'm gonna be getting into that download as we move along. But I'm about to absolutely destroy some of these people. Okay. Now, let's get into the capacity, the learning capacities of these individuals. These individuals, they graduated high school, but that don't mean a motherfucking thing, because all of this shit is indoctrination. You can't take none of this shit that these demons and these satanic regimes teach you down here in this system, within this system. You can't take none of this with you. None of this shit apply in the heavens, in the higher realms. None of this stuff applies. You can't take this with you. It's a waste of motherfucking time. So these individuals graduated school. They did, but baby, they just as slow. And I'm talking about all of them. I'm getting them all. The whole motherfucking clan was slower than the motherfucking retarded. And I mean it. Okay? But yet, somehow, some way, it always be them slow ones that think they eat and they think they be eating and showing. but was not eating and was not chewing. Now I gotta admit that Tamika did somewhat grow into her looks. She did, but she was still slow, very slow. Could not keep up. Okay, and it was that body, it was the body, and it was the trauma that was inside of the body that I could clearly see, just like I could see it in everybody. Okay, the way she walked, she walked like you got. Now these Hispanic ladies, they have a certain type of walk, and she walked just like them. Watch, next time you see somebody Hispanic, watch the way they walk. They all walk somewhat the same. She walked just like them Hispanics. She got the same kind of walk, as well as it's just the body. She eat, like I said, she eats way too much, and she don't work out enough for her to be eating what she be eating. I gotta tell you, she is wide and all out motherfucking side. She is. And she looked like, she just always be looking like she just got done eating a plate of spaghetti. That's what her body gives, like she just got done eating a plate of spaghetti. And it ain't nothing, I don't got nothing against the big people, I love fat folk too. But don't play with me, because I'm going to call it out. And I'm going to tell y'all how she played with me. Because I didn't get it until just today, how she played with me. Anyway, let's move along. Let's move right on along. I ain't got too much to say about her, but the motherfucking BDBs and the fact that her hair didn't grow. Okay. I'm going to get on her man, too, but I'm going to save that for a little later. Now, how far are we into this? Oh, my God, 17 minutes? Oh, this is going to have to be a part 2. Because I got... Let's move on to the meat right quick. I got to move on to the meat. Because there was something about the meat that I did not particularly like that. Now, that's one of her brothers. But he was slower than her. Okay, very slow. And I got to tell you now. He fucked. Ooh, child. He fucked somebody that he shouldn't have fucked. He fucked somebody with multiple spiritual diseases. He fucked somebody who was attached to my sacral. Baby, he fucked Nikki. I gotta tell you the way that Nikki was up in there begging for that dick while she was high off Adderall. Up in there, and I'm in there like, I know she is not throwing herself at this man like that, but he was acting scared. No shade, he was scared. But he fucked her. He did. But we would all be in the country. Me, him, Kiki, Carolyn, the sisters and the brothers, the whole clan down there drinking alcohol, getting fucked up. Okay? But before I get into the mean stuff that I'm going to say about these individuals, let me just say what I'm getting. I gotta tell you what I'm getting, because it's all about the churn. It's all about the churn that really they ain't had no business having in the first place, because, bitch, they took my ability to give birth away from me to give it to these children in women's bodies that's quote giving birth when they not really giving birth. Is what they did. So these individuals don't even know what they're doing when they're giving birth to these children, because they're not healing. All they do is give birth to these children and give them to the system. And you got to understand and overstand. Okay? Anyway, so let's talk about the ultimate plot. This plot involving these children where they were trying to frame me for molestation. And I'm talking about the molestation of my ex-niece, Kalia. Okay, they was trying to frame me for that, but see, this was years in hindsight. Now, Kalia wouldn't be born until, say, this was in about 2001, 2002. Kalia wouldn't be born until 10 years later, 15 years later. But, so, let's talk about the child. See, I'm actually not even gonna talk about the me and Kiki and them. I'm gonna stay focused on Tamika. Okay, so let's talk about the cheering that she had. Now she had a girl by the name of Mumu. She had a girl by the name of Mumu. Okay, now me and Mumu were actually very close at when Mumu was growing up. Okay, from a baby to at least about what 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Mumu and I were close. We used to go out, go out walking through the neighborhood and things of this nature. I was teaching that little girl and I was guiding her the right way. Okay, and see, this is what I'm saying about them. They slower than a motherfucker. All of them slow, from her mammy to her brothers to her sister to her kids. All of them slower than the motherfucker. It missed Mumu, and it missed Mumu because of my influence on her. It was because of my influence that slow shit missed her, because I'm telling you, the pappy was just as slow. Well, yeah, or even slower. Okay? So, it so happens, it turns out that Mumu was a little masculine. She did become a little masculine now, which ain't nothing wrong with. I feel like she took a problem with her daughter coming out a little more masculine because the daughter was playing basketball and things of this nature. But see, she got to take into account that she was masculine too. Like, she was masculine. Tamika was masculine. There's no shade about it. But I feel like something about my influence. I feel like she feel like it was my influence on her daughter that made her masculine. Because of course I was outside the box. I was me at all times. I wasn't fronting or trying to be nobody else than who I was. So I was me. So she kind of blamed me, is what I feel like. That's what my intuition telling me, because she had a son sometime later, and I gotta tell you about the way she acted, like I was gonna influence her son. Baby, I was gonna influence your son in the right way. And I feel like she just didn't feel comfortable with me around her motherfucking son. Now, baby, I gotta tell you this, because now, see, this is where the mean shit is finna come in, and I'm finna start talking about cheering too, because I don't give a fuck. Now, she shouldn't have did that. Now, I was feeling that shade very strongly whenever she didn't want to keep her son around, which I did not give a fuck, because I didn't want that little ugly boy around me anyway. That little boy was motherfucking weird looking. Okay, just like my own ex-niece was motherfucking weird looking. I don't care. These motherfuckers having churn with the wrong people, and the baby's coming out weird looking. Now, she had a baby by one of my ex-cousins, Omar. Omar treating her any kind of way, doing her any kind of way. But see, that's how these hood boogers, that's what they like. Niggas like that, with full of orbs, that's pumping them full of orbs. Okay, now I feel like there had been conversations going on, or something like that, because I was picking up on the same kind of shade with her sister Carolyn, that big old tall thing. Now, and her churn, because it's no shade, because none of them don't want one of them cute or attractive. Bitch, I could have done without them in my sight. I didn't want one of them churn in my sight, no how. Now, let's get to the real monster. Because, see, imagine had I not been in this body. Imagine had it not been me in this body. Now let's go talk about Sharita. Because Sharita sitting up here watching everybody churn and ain't got no business watching nobody's child. How could anybody trust Sharita to watch their child when she did what she did to her own son? Now imagine it not been me in this body. Now it was me in this body to come shut the bitch down, but imagine had it not been me up in this body. And that boy would have just been, baby, not only did she allow the daddy, my pappy, to molest me, at least 3 of my uncles, ex-uncles molested me. My ex-cousin molested me. She put me into a program where I then continued to be molested by white men, old white men at that. Okay, so how in the world was this bitch allowing Sharita to watch her churn in the first place? Now we got to get back to let's talk about this incident where she actually did get mad at Sharita for doing something that she had no business doing. She had the little girl in the room with her and a dude named Taurus, who I most definitely didn't like, because Sharita was that bitch was a whore, and it's no shade. That bitch was a whore. Now she had that little girl, and this was when Mumu was smaller. She had Mumu in the middle with him while she was asleep on that side and he was sleeping on the other side. This man was a complete and utter stranger. We did not know this man. She did get mad at Sharita for it though and didn't talk to Sharita for a while. But what I am saying is that it's like it's something about this gay influence that the girl didn't like, or something like that is what I'm picking up on. Which, like I said, bitch, the gays have authority over you. I decree and declare it. I decree and declare that the gays have authority over you motherfucking breeders who ain't doing shit but sucking and fucking and not healing and bringing these motherfucking children into this fucked up, chaotic world to continue to do the same thing and letting the cycle perpetuate. It's and bitch, you in my motherfucking way. The gays are better than y'all. I said it. Because they ain't doing that. They're not having children. But they are the scapegoats. They are the scapegoats. Y'all treat them like the scapegoats. Like y'all can just dump y'all shit onto them when y'all need to be going inside y'all body and healing that shit up out y'all body. Y'all got some motherfucking nerve. And that's why I'm going off on this bitch now, because she got some motherfucking nerve. Some nerve. Okay? Now, I'm going to say this. My influence on Mumu, it don't matter whether she came out a little more masculine than maybe she should have been. Okay? But I had a pronounced influence on that little girl. And because of my influence on her, she didn't have that slowness. She didn't come out slow like them. Okay, now I'm not going to talk about the rest of them, but just know that they all slow. What I am going to do, though, I'm going to make my declarations right now about them all. I decree and declare any cords that are linking me to any one of them atoms, Tamika, Carolyn, any of her churn, any of their churn, Demeet, Kiki, any of the extended family, the grandmammies, the grandpappies, anybody from Apex, especially Shauna. And I'm gonna get on Shauna because that, oh my God. Now, baby, I got to get on Shauna because she always has something smart to say about the girls or gay folk, bitch. She stayed with something smart to say, and look the way she looked. Looking the way she was looking, she should have said nothing about nobody gay, bitch. You need to go sit down. You need to go lay down, matter of fact, because, girl, you are ugly. Physically. Girl, and it's like she grew and oh, I'm gonna get on her, though. I'm trust me. So, I decree and declare any cords linking me to any one of them, any branch of that, Tamika, Shauna, her children, Carolyn children, Carolyn, Lil Cuz, Demeet, his churn, Apex, all of that. Any of my light sparks that got caught up within them, removed, released, freed, and brought home to the mother, the father, and the child, which is, of course, myself. I don't know what in the fuck made any of these individuals think that they could ever chew it up on my time. Bitch. Okay. I think I'm gonna keep this here for the, and I'm just call this the Addams Family, child, because. However, I already talked about Kyron too. No, I ain't talking about Kyron. He's next. He's next. I'm gonna cut this right here because we already got 30 minutes. I'm gonna cut this out right here. This is just gonna be a series because I got a lot of motherfuckers to talk about. It's a lot. It's a lot of individuals on this list. Okay, but let's do some more decrees and declarations. I decree and declare that any of my light sparks that were caught up within this trailer park at any time with anybody within the trailer park, I'm going to go ahead and say it now, and I'm going to say it again throughout this series, but, bitch, any of my light sparks and any of my soul fragments that got caught up and lost within this time period where I lived in this trailer park amongst these satanic forces, where this warfare picked up, be removed, released, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. See, it wasn't that brutal for you, Mika. I didn't get you that much, but girl, now you tried it with that little boy who I could care less about being in my presence, with that big head looking like motherfucking Stewie Griffin, looking like a motherfucking fetus, and looking like he had 2 months left up in there before he should have came out. Thank you